Women podcast. For your career and your life, no matter what business you're in.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Northern Power Women podcast. Happy International Women's Day. It is amazing to have you along listening today. In fact, whatever day you're listening, I hope you had a great International Women's Day if this is after the event. Today, of course, is the day when NPWLive is happening, when the fantastic Northern Power Women Awards is happening. So me, Sam Walker, and she, Simone Roche, MBE, our great leader, decided to share some of the really inspirational videos that you have sent to us to celebrate International Women's Day and the Northern Power Women Awards. Before that, we just really want to say a huge thank you to the British Army for being our headline partner of NPWLive. Here is a message from them.
Hello, we are the British Army and we would like you to join us on a journey that two courageous female British Army soldiers are going to endure over the next months, where they will prepare for the mental and physical challenges of crossing the Atlantic rowing as part of a 4-person team. To do this, we have teamed up with Northern Power Women. Please check in regularly on this platform to see our updates. The British Army is your army. Fail, learn, win.
Thanks so much to the British Army. We will make sure to update you every single week on this podcast with news of Force Atlantic, that fantastic team of 4 soldiers, 2 men and 2 women who are taking on that incredible rowing challenge. Right, let's get to a small selection of these brilliant videos. Simone, we've had well over 150 sent in.
I know, it's safe to say that I am completely blown away and inspired and motivated and want to take action on every single thing that's come in these. Who'd have thought, we put this out there, didn't we? And this is also today on International Women's Day. We are absolutely vamping up, not vamping, maybe we are vamping, our BeHeard campaign. The BeHeard campaign is all about better representation in the media, better representation and events, and ultimately having your voice heard. So today, we're only sharing sort of 4 or 5 with you today, and we've got the stream as part of NPWLive. But the great thing is they're all going to be on a future BeHeard Portal. So you're going to be able to hear and listen to all these voices in the future. So really exciting, really delighted to share. And shall I kick off, Sam?
I think you should, Simone. As we said, this is just a little tiny taster of some of the brilliant inspirational videos are out there. But let's start off, shall we? Who are we going to start with?
We're going to start with Catherine Millan, who's the Student Recruitment for Wider Participation Officer at Manchester University. Quite a title right there. She's also the founder of the Diversity Project. And Catherine's from Liverpool. And when she was younger, she was directly affected by a tragic event in Liverpool that changed her life. Let's hear from Catherine.
Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Millen and I am the Student Recruitment and Widening Participation Officer at the University of Manchester and the founder of the Diversity Champions Project. And today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my story and why I choose to challenge. So as you may be able to have guessed, I am actually from Liverpool, place that I'll always call home and will always have a special place in my heart. When I was younger, I was really indirectly affected by a horrific event that happened in Liverpool that really just changed a lot of people in the city, upset a lot of people in the city, and really kind of changed my life and the things that I wanted to do in my life and effectively what I wanted to become. Now, after experiencing what I had in Liverpool at such a young age and seeing how it affected me and how it affected my friends, the loss of Anthony, I really knew that we had to do something to support young people to not only understand hate crime, but understand what we need to do moving forward. to eradicate it. So I developed a program called the Diversity Champions Project. It's a program that involves working with young people across schools and training them in different areas such as anti-racism, LGBT awareness, disabilities that include mental health, and also training around being an active bystander. And I guess my kind of last message moving forward is to just say to people that sometimes in life, really, really bad things can happen. And it's not about looking forward and saying, how can we get better? It's about looking forward and saying, how can we get better? So taking things in life, experiences that you've had, and looking forward and saying, what can we do in order to make that better? And especially pay it forward so the people who come behind us don't necessarily have to have that same experience. So thank you for listening to my story, and thank you for learning about the Diversity Champions Project.
Thank you so much to Catherine Millan and for sharing something and being so vulnerable and sharing something that affected her so deeply. But what an inspiration. What an inspiring woman. Do go and check out Catherine's video. You can see all of these videos. We'll tell you at the end of the podcast where you can go and see all the fantastic stories that have come into us here at Northern Power Women. Up next, a woman, Simone, who I really, really admire. I've got a friend who does this, and every time I've thought about doing it, I get a bit scared. But this is Jade, who's a cold water swimmer. Tell us more.
So Jade, I only met a few weeks ago. Jade is working for our charity partner, Future First, which is all about role models in state schools. And we're just having a catch up. Nice to meet you, sort of coffee, like you do when new people start with, sort of stakeholders and things like that. And I'm like, I just noticed her backdrop, and I'm like, you start talking about, what's behind you. And she's, I'm a cold water swimmer. I immediately felt chilled and said, you've got to put that on video. And I'm so grateful for Jade for literally, shall I say, diving in and sharing her 3 minutes with us right now.
I'm Jade Hanley, and I'm a cold water swimmer. I swim outdoors year round without a wetsuit. And that means that I need to be able to get into cold water in just my swimming costume. This is a talk about what cold water swimming has taught me about taking on challenges. Because getting into cold water is a matter of mind over body. It's quite literally getting out of your comfort zone and into something uncomfortable. Because when I put my toes into the water for the first time, it hurts. But I have to keep moving forwards if I'm going to enjoy my swim. I have to keep moving away from the land, away from the comfort zone. And I think that's a lesson when you're taking on a challenge. You have to keep going forwards towards your goal, step by step. At some point, I'll be in the water up to my hips. And then I have to push my whole body in. I have to submerge my body into the water. And I think that's a lesson in commitment, because when you're facing a challenge, when you're trying to achieve a goal, at some point, you're going to have to fully commit and put your whole self into it. In a cold water swim, the next few minutes are like a battle between my mind and my body. My body goes into a state of cold water shock. It's stressed, it's uncomfortable, it's not happy. But in my mind, I'm trying to concentrate on my breathing and calming myself down. And I think that's a really good lesson in focusing on the things that you can control and trying to not get distracted by the uncomfortableness. After that's subsided, I've caught my breath, I can enjoy the swim. It might still be a little bit cold and uncomfortable, but this is the moment that I've been waiting for, and I can be happy. But cold water swimming isn't without its risks. And so I often have to get out of the water at a point when I'm still able to dress myself and dry myself off safely. I think that is a lesson in knowing your limits, knowing when to stop, knowing when to move on from a challenge. Once I'm out of the water and I've dried myself off and I'm probably drinking a hot chocolate, my body starts a process of rewarming. And this feels like a glowing feeling in my shoulders and my back. For me, this is a lesson in reflection. There's no way I could have that glowing feeling if I hadn't done the lows, the uncomfortable part of getting in the cold water. To get the highs, you have to have the lows as well. That's what makes it worth it. So these are the things that I've learned from cold water swimming and taking on challenges. If you've been inspired to try cold water swimming from this talk, then please do so safely and do your research first. One way that you could do that is by checking out my podcast, wildswimpodcast.com.
The amazing Jade Hanley. Do you know what? I think she's inspired me. Now, you're going to laugh because I live here in Arizona where most of the time it's boiling, and I am so lucky that I've got a swimming pool. I think that Arizona has got the most swimming pools per capita. So I don't live in a mansion. I just live in a place that's really, really, really hot. But I tell you what, you're being surprised how cold that water gets. It's not quite as glamorous as jumping into a lake or a pond or a river. I might dip a toe in, Simone. That's going to be my baby steps, right? This is about just starting small.
Well, it's choose, challenge, change. Yep. And I think you've just taken the challenge on and you've said it right here on Northern Power Women Podcast. We'll be holding you to account. Who's up next? This is fantastic.
It really is. And I love this one from Cynthia. This is Cynthia Ajayi. And she is a young woman who is part of the Women's Org. She is the media engagement executive at the Women's Organisation. And I just really want you to listen to what she has said here and actually really listen. I think quite often we can hear a talk that's as inspiring and empowering as this and go, yeah, but that doesn't really apply to me. This really does. So listen up to Cynthia Ajayi from the Women's Org.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Ajayi. I work at the Women's Organisation as a media and engagement executive in this great city that we call Liverpool. In my work, I choose to make a positive change every day. I empower and inspire women from all backgrounds. Whoever you are, I want you to know how important you are, that you are valued, and that you can achieve your hopes and dreams. I choose to support and encourage women to have the confidence to learn new skills, which has a positive impact on their well-being and that of their families. To achieve this, I work with charities and community groups to help them achieve their visions and goals. I choose to take an active role in women's enterprise. Female entrepreneurs are on the rise, and their success is built on the determination and support, and of course, collaboration. At the Women's Organisation, I am helping to change the landscape of businesses and enterprise so that women's voices are heard from boardrooms to policy discussions and beyond. I am challenging outdated societal beliefs and economical inequalities which limits our ability to thrive. During the pandemic, research has shown that women have taken on an additional 15 hours worth of domestic duties each week compared to men. Just because we can do it all doesn't mean we should have to. Together, we are challenging government to provide sustainable support for women in business. Lobbying research, collaborative discussion enables us to put local issues under a national spotlight. Financial support, accessible childcare, and more diversity in the workplace is just a start. We are challenging historical gender barriers with forward-thinking, accessible training, programs, and educational pathways which prepare women to start up and run successful businesses. Traditional careers will be a thing of the past. The next generation of young women will know they have a choice. We can choose our direction and refocus our energies. We choose to be leaders. Happy International Women's Day to us all.
There you go, the wonderful Cynthia Ajayi from the Women's Org. I mean, I told you that was inspiring. Did you listen, Simone? Because she was talking to you.
Yeah, because you are important. That's why. I mean, oh, wow. I mean, it's fantastic and absolutely something that makes you want to sit up and take notice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
I love that she said, we choose to be leaders. We choose to be leaders. There you are. It is your choice to make. So let's all make it today. It's fantastic. Okay, time for our penultimate video for this special, Simone. And this is just a little bit different. I think this is fabulous.
And I think, you know, we talk about people, you know, using their voice and people engage and communicate in different ways. And I think we saw, didn't we, only a few weeks ago at the inauguration, the amazing words of young Amanda, the spoken word poet. Well, we have commissioned something very special for our Northern Power Women Awards, and Amina Atiq calls herself the Scouse Yemeni poet, has written us something wonderful and has equally found the time to record her Northern Power Women NPWLive spoken word message for us right now. So this blew me away.
This farewell feels like forever, wishing it was all over. We learned to say goodbye quick enough to escape the strangers we befriended in the supermarket alley. To the neighbours we greet for the first time, wishing we spoke sooner, but we spent a lifetime running until we were forced to seek refuge in our own homes. Between this death and life, our children bury their parents outside your four-walled thick glass windows, enough to hear the world's pain. You choke fires in your throat, it hurts. And we lock down our doors, hugging our families tighter than before, but you miss your friends. And this bedroom dances, you need love in many ways far away from here. And when you can't sleep, this opening chapter will drown in conflict, heartbreak, the unknowns, and you flip the pages to save each other. This strange place sits alone, afraid to lose your voice, in a black and white still movie, hoping you find your way to the dressing room, stealing the heart of the show, in a standing ovation, under your Northern Skyline, where art feels like your only friend. And I promise to dance one last time, dreaming of the stage that feels like a past friend that I no longer recognise. The city walls are empty, and the gallery floor is missing you. But we are coming home. Between this page and ink, tearing apart, you listen to your heart, finding ways to heal the wounds. And you look up to find the stars are resting, and the moon we share kneeling in solidarity. She holds the sun in her arms, promising to bring the light in this darkness. And we will find each other under our Northern Skyline. We are meant to survive. We will survive and tell our story one last time, and give the paintbrush to a child. They will decorate our city walls in a new hopeful tomorrow, in a poem that speaks to you for the first time. Tomorrow, it holds a different meaning. Our world without art is a place without passion, is the impossible of ideas, is the untold expressions, is the tap of the heel, is the music to your ears. It is life. And one last time, light up your northern streets. We are coming home.
Wow. I know that Amanda Gorman's words impacted the entire world when, as you said, Simone, she stood up at Joe Biden's inauguration. To have, as you said, a Scouse Yemeni poet. I mean, she's a badass already. I love the fact that she is, as you said, letting her voice be heard in 2021 on International Women's Day. The amazing Amina Atiq. Thank you so much for being part of Northern Power Women Live this year. Now, we're going to finish off this little mini special celebratory podcast with a video from a woman who really, really impacted me when I met her a few years ago. And I know that, of course, Simone, she's had a huge impact on you and on Northern Power Women as well. The amazing Dr. Joanna Berry.
I love this woman.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a woman that you can call or message at any time of the day or night. You know, we have so many acquaintances and so many people that we meet, but this is somebody that has your back completely all the time. She's the Associate Professor at Durham University Business School of Entrepreneurship and the Director of Durham Enterprise Institute. And to be honest, once you've listened to this, you'll realise that there is so many more personas behind the mask. Here's Joanna.
So I'm Joanna Berry, and I work at Durham University Business School, where I'm an associate professor of entrepreneurship, and I'm a director at Durham Energy Institute, where I look after the business, innovation and entrepreneurship side of things. I've been putting off making this video for the longest of long times, and I thought I'd talk about that because we were asked to talk about choosing to change. And one of the things that I found most challenging, and one of the reasons that I think I've put making this video off, is because I couldn't work out who I needed to be to make the video. And the reason for that is because I spend my life wearing masks. I spend my life being the teacher at the front of the classroom, the person that wears the titles that I just gave you, the person standing up on stage giving out awards, the person doing the imposter syndrome presentations for Simone and others. I spend my life being the mother of the neuroatypical son. I spend my life being the person talking about how failure doesn't necessarily mean the end of everything. All of these are masks. They're all personas. They're all identities that I've got, but they're all masks I hide behind. And so my challenge is to myself. And I tried to script this, and the script ended up going on for about 4 minutes. Actually, I lied, Simone. It was closer to 5. And it also sounded just like a list of song titles. You know, I've been to paradise. I've never been to me. I'm every woman, and so on and so forth. And also, it just didn't make any sense. So I'm just talking through this because my challenge to myself is that I've got to stop trying to be authentic, which means trying to live up to some sense of identity that ends up just being very, very rigid. Because if you try and identify who you are, then you don't allow for the changes that you need to accommodate. And what I have to be is just sincere. And I think that that is defined as simply sticking to my values and sticking to my principles. And that, I think, is more important, because authenticity can mean that you are rooted in one place, that you have to be the same person all the time. And that stops you from reflecting on the person you used to be, and means that you are always the person that you are at the moment, and doesn't allow you to change into the person that you can be in the future. And that, therefore, is my challenge to myself, to stop wearing the masks, to stop being rigidly identified by my sense of who I think everybody else thinks I am, and to simply be true to myself. I'm sorry that sounds like a song title, but hopefully you know what I mean. Happy International Women's Day.
The amazing, amazing Joanna Berry. And I know I throw that word about a lot. It's probably my favourite word. My children always say to me, "Oh, everything's amazing, Mum." And I am. But I tell you what, when you're talking about her, she is an incredible, inspiring woman who I know has impacted so many other individuals' lives. And I'm just really thankful that she's got that fantastic video to be part of the Northern Power Women NPWLive this year. She's fabulous.
Absolutely, indeed. And I echo amazing, 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 amazing. And thank you. And thank you to everyone that has submitted a video. Thank you to everyone who took the time to either share their top tips, to pass on their skills or knowledge, or actually came out their comfort zone and went, you know what? I'm going to take the stage here, and I'm going to have my voice heard and, you know, be part of this whole BeHeard and NPWLive campaign. So thank all of you. Thank everyone. Do not miss out. Get the popcorn, settle down and watch some fantastic videos. You can go to our Northern Power Women YouTube site. You can go to be-heard.io. That's where you can sign up. And equally over the coming weeks, we're going to add more and more videos onto there as well. So please get involved. Please engage during the conversation on our socials, because this is all about using your voice. Thank you for joining us on this International Women's Day special. But as we know, it's not just one day. It's not for Christmas. It's for life.
And we'll be back, of course. The Northern Power Women podcast is here with you every single week, every single Monday. If you need a little bit of pep, something to put a spring in your step to face the week ahead, Simone and I are here for you every single Monday. And next Monday is no different. Monday, March the 15th, we're going to be bringing you a kind of after third party of the Northern Power Women Awards. We're going to take you behind the scenes with the winners and get the lowdown as well on everything that happened on Awards Day. So again, thank you so much for listening. Simone, I'm saluting you as ever from Arizona. We will speak next week. I'm Sam Walker. She's Simone Roche. The Northern Power Women podcast is a What Goes On media production.